Episode 14. We in here. Bridgin.
14, my number.
That is. Oh, so this is going to be a fire podcast. It's going to be one of the one. Bridgin the Gap podcast. I'm your host, the young OG, Ryan Yates. I'm here with my OG, Julian King, a.k.a. JK, a.k.a. Jules the Jeweler, a.k.a. Jupac. You know, my high school coach a decade plus ago. My mentor, now business partners in Dubai. So we all the way from VA to Dubai. How are you feeling over there, Coach?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Yeah.
It wrapped up a long week, a challenging week. But I look forward to these moments where I get on the mic with you, talk a little bit about today's topics, and represent for the old guys, because you guys don't give us any love.
Nah, man, that's not true. That's why we here. We're bridging the gap. And for you guys that are just tuning in for the first time, when Coach talks about having a long week, we record typically on the last day of our work week. And, in the States, a work week is Monday through Friday. Here in Dubai, it's Sunday through Thursday. And for us, we work Saturday through Wednesday, at least in the gym. As entrepreneurs, you're always working, but we don't detail too much of our basketball business. We will soon when we get on video so you guys can really see and we can implement those things. But we do a lot of work. Sometimes it's, tiring. Other times it's always really joyful at some point, but the ups and downs, they happen. Hoopmountain.ae is our company. We're located everywhere that you need us to be. You can check us out, Hoopmountain.ae on Instagram. We got a lot of dope stuff. Like and subscribe. All you people, everybody listening on YouTube or anywhere else, like and subscribe. Throw us a bone, help us out a little bit. I think we got something with this, and whatever you guys can do to like, subscribe, share it with a friend, comment, tell us what you hate, and then we can keep working from there. So mental health, how we feeling, Coach?
Good, man. Yep. I'm good. Like I said,
Oh, look, he got his phone ringing.
Man, you said we're always working.
Yeah.
Always working around the clock.
Yeah.
So, but here we go. Another chance to speak to everybody and connect with everybody back in the States and also our young hoopers here in Dubai.
Yeah.
And get it going.
Yeah. Y'all heard Coach is messing up the mic, so we had to, we doing this in the basement type stuff. Like, this is just us thugging it, trying to get it together. But what we'll do is let's get into some good stuff here. NBA, right? We're recording a lot that happened basketball-wise. First of all, I woke up the other day, and, I talk about some of my bros all the time. My guy, BG, hit me. The time difference, like 9 hours right now. He hit me. He said, Russ back. Wizards back. He spelled it Byke, B-Y-K-E, right? I'm like, what's going on? And the Wizards have beat the Nets. Yeah, in an interesting fashion. I think Bill hit a three and it put him, tied up or put him down only one. And then the next play, Russ gets a wide open three on an inbound steal.
It's Bill hitting the three was to be expected because he's been hitting a bunch of clutch shots all past 2 years. But for Russ to get his swag back was big.
41 piece.
For triple double, right? Or close to it?
Yeah, I think he got close to it. I think he might have been like one rebound or one assist away. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. I want to see what that Wizard crowd sound like now, because those would last like 3 or 4 weeks. They've been throwing mud on his name.
Well, I think reports just came out that he's been injured a little bit though.
Yeah,
because he didn't play the next game against the Clippers, right?
Right. or Portland.
Portland, I'm sorry, against Portland.
And they took an L. But then the next game, after taking the L to the Wizards, who are the worst team in the NBA, the Clippers come into town from Brooklyn, and Brooklyn gets the W.
Mm.
Now, Brooklyn gets a W, and I think it was like 124, 120. And everybody talked about, of course, their defensive woes, because right now they're the greatest by percentage. I think is whatever those analytics are, they're the best offensive team the NBA has ever seen.
I believe that.
But also the worst, defensive team that the NBA has ever seen. So last night we had 39 from Kyrie. We had 28, I believe, from KD, 28 and 9 boards. And then you got James Harden, who goes for 23, I believe, 11 rebounds and 14 assists. You know, I woke up and I was like, my boy hit me and said, yo, Kyrie just different. I get there to see the highlights, and it's like he just painting a picture on the court. Like, it's just different space. I remember saying that to you, right. And the first thing you said to me was like, oh, Kyrie different? What'd you say to me, though?
I'm thinking about KD, because KD, 28 and missing 2 shots. Knowing that even though Kyrie is special, James Harden's special, your name is circled on the other team's board in the other locker room for sure. And for this man,
it was how many? Oh, lean back.
13 or 15.
All right, cool. 13. It was 11. As a matter of fact, he was 11 for 13 from the field. So you had 28 points off 13 shots. And we're just talking just simple mathematics. If you just shoot 2 times, you just shoot 2-pointers 14 times, you get 28 points. Right? He got, and 9 boards. But then you talk about what our guy James Harden is doing. You know, we had this conversation about who's going to have the ball and facilitate.
Yep.
And we said Kyrie needs to be the 2.
Yep. Let him be free.
And Lord, because he's taking the most shots out of everybody.
Yep.
And nobody's having a problem with it either. You know, so that's good. But man, I think Harden for sure going to lead the league in assists.
This is possible with those 2 for sure.
He's already been 10 assists a game type of guy when he was in Houston. Without these, military grade weapons to the right and the left, like
military grade,
it's different over there, man. But it's interesting. What do you think is next for the Nets? Do you think the Nets get to the finals even how they're constructed right now?
I don't think so. Just because we all know in the playoffs, you got to get some stops. Because to get to the finals, you think about they got to beat a good Boston team that's got 2 dogs on the wings.
Yes, Jaylen Brown's having a hell of a year.
2 dogs, and then that's if Kemba comes back healthy, that's a capable 30-point score right there. We all know Miami plays lockdown D. They just got to get healthy.
Miami down though. They might not even be in the play-in and stuff. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do. But people have been injured though. I'll give them that. Talk about Philly. There's a monster emerging in the East in Philly with Joel Embiid. Man. So at some point in time, the Nets will have to address that if they meet, because who they gonna have in the hole? DeAndre Jordan is past his prime, so he's in trouble.
Yeah, that is. I do think that they can get to the finals in the East for sure, constructed to where they are. I don't think they'll beat the Lakers, because that's what I got going, of course. But I don't think they'll beat the Lakers there. If they play anyone else from the West, then I think that's a W. But I have a hard time seeing anybody beat them except for the Sixers. And that's only if Embiid takes that stride.
Right.
If Embiid takes that stride, then man, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah, the way Doc's got him playing right now, and the way Embiid's an MVP candidate, which he ain't getting a lot of love right now. He should be, but you know how it is. We don't want to give the big men the love that they deserve, because we expect them to do these things.
Yeah, they'll get that love to what's his name, the Joker and all them though. But we're gonna see. Embiid, keep pushing, man. We know you back there. We're gonna start at a campaign, the way they started Trust the Process.
For sure.
The process is here now. No, that's love. So we'll see. And, I said I thought Kyrie was going to get it together. Remember I was saying that.
Yeah.
It's looking good. I'm seeing smiles and everything.
But getting it together ain't a knock against his offensive repertoire. We talking about team chemistry and stepping up, and like I said, it's still a work in progress because it's early in the season, and we all know right now it's still new, so everybody's willing to put up with a lot. But we know it gets later in the season, people start saying, "Whoa, wait a minute, we got to change up some things."
Yeah. I think they're gonna be good. It's going, like I said, I'm more interested to see. I wish we could watch it a little bit more in real time, but I'm more interested to see what that bench does, that coaching staff. What type of adjustments are made, because that's when it comes down to that late game things. A team that talented, you can't necessarily beat them just talent for talent, but your coach can out-prepare, out-scheme, and get some things done. Because, one little out-of-bounds play, one out-of-timeout play can shift the momentum just enough for you to squeak out of there with some wins or squeak out of there with a loss. So we don't know. Halftime adjustment.
Yeah, your coach should be responsible for an extra 6-8 points a game just by some of the little schemes they can come up with or quick hitters or things like that. But they can't help you if you don't attempt to play any D. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like I would pay to go see them play for sure. They're entertaining. Everybody's going to tune in to watch them play. But you can't let the Cavaliers and teams like that score 140 points on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see. You got some time. They're looking good, though. But it was a big night for one guy. And by the time this come out, like 4 or 5 games have been played and everything. But we got to mention Fred VanVleet.
That's your man.
We talked about him betting on himself, getting his bread, getting his $80 million last night. He put up 54. An efficient 54 too. I think he hit like 11 tray balls, and I think in his press conference post game he talked about how DeMar DeRozan had been telling him every time he got 30, 34, he said, "Man, you weak for not going ahead and breaking my record." So it was dope to see DeMar, show him love for beating his record, which was previously 52.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for DeMar, man, because he got shipped out of there after showing a lot of love to Toronto and saying that he wanted to stay there. But he's showing them nothing but love because, I'm going to be real. I might be a little salty right now. Y'all want to chip the next year without me, so.
And I'm stuck in San Antonio. What Chuck said, they got churros down there.
You got the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, the Alamo. Yeah, that's dope, though. But let's get into, Shaq been getting some flack for probably like 2 weeks, really, to be honest. People talking about him being too hard on people and everything else. But then we also have, moments where the league is looked at as sensitive. Some star players are looked at as sensitive. You an old head, right? So let's give me that perspective, because what Shaq was saying was I'm just challenging you. He said, "Look, since what I said, look what Utah has been doing." Even though Utah was on a win streak before he said that,
right.
But Shaq, I think that's another thing too about bridging the gap. Like sometimes the older guys look at the way they were talked to and think that's how they got to pass it on to another generation. But I don't know.
Let me speak for the older guys. I'm going to say Shaq was wrong for that. Shaq may have been talked to harshly, but it wasn't in the media. It wasn't in the public's eye. You call out somebody publicly when they do something wrong. You got a guy like Donovan Mitchell. We haven't heard about him getting in trouble for nothing. We heard about him just being a good teammate. We know the type of player he is.
He making Utah relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's never expressed a willing that he wanted to leave or anything like that. He just plays ball, and he's a guy that I'm sure he would have responded differently and would have appreciated if Shaq would have talked to him privately.
Yeah.
And say, "Hey, hey, young fella, I like your game. You can ball, but you can do so much more.
Yeah.
But you calling somebody out when they're on a win streak in today's media, I mean, that's just uncalled for. And I'm not afraid to say it that that's when the old guys screwed up a little bit right there. Yeah. And he's been critical of other people publicly as well. And
but differently, though.
You know, and Shaq, you have a platform where you can put some people in a bad space in terms of perception. So you need to chill out on that, man. And let, you want to talk to these young guys and get them going. You know their numbers.
Yeah, he said, I'm too great to hate. That's what he said. I'm too great to hate. I do think that with the statement, are players too sensitive? I do think to an extent players are sensitive. And I'm not saying just in the NBA, but I'm saying going down to the grassroots and up. Like, you can't really criticize too much of somebody's game without getting some backlash. And there's a balance too, because even though when you're young, you're sensitive about everything, right? For a bunch of different reasons. So you can take a certain amount of it as an adult talking to a kid, but these days it's even worse.
Man, listen, let me be first to tell you, even the old guys were sensitive.
Yeah.
We just didn't have social media. Yeah. So if you played in D.C. and people talking trash about you in Texas, you didn't know. Now, if they talking trash about you, you can get instant read, boom, 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 down the field. Like, oh man, they think this of me. Think about MJ. MJ, one of his great traits was that he used everything as motivation. So what would MJ be doing right now?
Right.
Everything wouldn't be praised. He'd be seeing some negativity around his name, and he take that person. Now, can everybody do what MJ did? No.
Hell no.
So there's man, everybody was sensitive. The older guys just didn't hear it or see it all the time.
Yeah, I think I just saw a quote. No, I did just see a quote from, I forgot which teammate it was, but it was an old teammate of Steph Curry. And he said in the locker room at halftime, Steph would look at Twitter and see what they're saying about him and then come out and score 30 in the second half. Like, everybody fuels the fire differently. I think between players, though, because, there is like an unspoken player etiquette between each other, all right? Especially when you get more and more into that fraternity of the NBA. Yeah. I do think that one of the problems is, just the way we communicate. That's it. That's with everything. Coaches, period, too. Coaches, players, the leadership. And that's a generational difference too, because we, like you said, we grew up with social media. We grew up with a little bit more information as well, so we learned some things that were like, "Yo, this wasn't the right way. We should have been talking to each other."
Right. That's right. And let's face it, the culture, guys went to college longer back in the day. We talking about guys now coming out, either coming straight to the league or doing 1 year in college, and they're millionaires at 19. It's kind of hard to tell somebody what to do when they're a millionaire and they're 19. And for some of them, they did it on their own. So it's hard for them to have some cat that's 50 years old coming in there and telling you what you should be doing. I mean, give them some space, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Sometimes the older generation disappoints us, right? Because, as children, as young adults, and you're trying to figure out, and the world hasn't, the world is still a bit of a fantasy to you, right? You haven't got hit with reality yet, like you will after college. Within college, it may feel like it's something, but after college is when you really know, like, oh, right? Because at a point, you're looking at every adult like, all right, when I get to their age, I'll be doing things that they got going on here. I have a house, I'll do this. Have connections here, can do this freely, blah, blah, blah. And let's say you need some help getting connected with something and you go, reach out to somebody you think got it together and they can't really do much for you. Those things are humbling. So for me, for age doesn't equate to wisdom at all for me. And it also leaves me to be more willing to listen to even people younger than me. Because wisdom doesn't just come with age.
Right.
Some of you just get old.
Yes. Some of you just get old. They're still doing the same thing. So
yeah, for sure. So don't get fooled out there. All right. But on a lighter note, Bron got into a shouting match with a woman on the baseline. Courtside Karen is what he called it. However, first of all, Bron got the best media training in the world. Like you always say something right.
Yeah, it's that's a part of his greatness because I've watched him in some post game interviews and I've gone back to when he was in high school. I'm like, man, this cat had it at a young age. I'm like, that's incredible. So he's always going to put himself in a light in the media where you look like the bad guy. And so, you say Courtside Karen?
Yeah.
I think she realized after like day 2, day 3, like, I need to apologize for this.
For sure. And I think she had got off social media, so there's no way she was going to win that. She was tripping, man. Yeah. It was funny, though. But that leads to the point, though, of as hoopers, right? We talked about on this podcast before about trash talk. But we talked about that specifically between players and, your peers and who you're competing against. But we haven't gotten into the space where we talked about the significance of fans and their role in creating an atmosphere. Because you see, Bron was like, I missed that.
Right.
I missed it. I don't think she should have got kicked out.
Right.
Right? Like, he wanted that there. Like, talk about what having fans in the gym is like for you.
It's motivation. It's nothing better than going on the road and having everybody against you and just fueling your fire. Because, you do something, you make a good play or something like that, and now you just look up in the stands and everybody's quiet. Yeah. The same thing I told you guys when we used to go on the road when you were in high school against the big teams, the nationally ranked teams and the packed gyms, whatever. And I said, hey, what better way to make a statement than have everybody sitting in his joint silent and then point up at the scoreboard?
Man, in high school, it was a balance for me. I used to love our home games because our home games would be bumping. And I used to love away games too. But for college, I was all about the away game action. All about it. My school was just different. Like, let's say at TC, high school, the school itself got 3,000, 4,000 students, right? At the games, we got our own, we call them Fighting Titans. That's the equivalent to Cameron Crazies. And we have a band there, right? We might got like 1,500 people in the gym alone.
Right.
It's active. Music loud, like, you know what I'm saying? It's everything you see on the movies. So we love that. I get to college, my home games, and I love them. I love them because they were loyal. I think my first game as a freshman, I remember seeing some older individuals coming in, one on a walker, one on, oxygen tank, but they were faithful. Wheelchairs, like in the game. So I'm like, yo, this might be too much excitement for them. But it was like the calmest home games. As I started to learn though that like it was calm, but when we created an atmosphere, we allowed some of our, student body to get open and get crazy with us too. But it was a completely different one. But when we went on the road, it was lit. It was lit. So those other schools who had different customs of ours got crazy. And we used to love it. I used to play better on the road all the time. All the time. What's some of your fondest memories from playing and interactions with fans?
Man, I'm probably gonna say.
Hold on, because you're gonna give me some short stuff. You gotta give me one from high school. You gotta give me one from college and 2 from pro.
Oh man, here we go.
And then you gotta give me some coaching ones.
Here we go with this. All right, high school. I remember playing Central Macon High School, which was a bigger school. Like 3,000 kids, whatever. Much bigger than us. My high school was only like 1,800, something like that. And they had a powerhouse basketball program. They had a kid going to Mississippi State, another kid going somewhere else in SEC. It's a lot of talent. And they knew about us, but not the way they should have. And so we went there, and I think I was a junior, and they was popping a lot of trash. And because our best player, Craig Wilcox, was our senior, and he was headed to BYU, and so everybody was saying, "Man, who are you? You trash." You know what I'm saying? We just gotta stop Craig. We got you, and so they're popping trash, and I think that was when I might have like 5 dunks that night, and I ended up with like 45 that night. And I remember just after it was over, I just pointed up at the scoreboard. I was like, "What you got to say now? There ain't nothing you can say," and everybody was just quiet. When you put on a show, everybody gives you your respect, and that's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's love. That's love, and especially as a youngin.
For sure.
Did you ride back listening to Anita Baker?
No, sir. It was a little different then. Back then, you get a win, you party a little bit back. So, coaches back like, shut up back there, get some rest. But college, man, my college career was rocky, boy. Oof. I can remember being at Temple, and the fans, we just had an incident, USA Today, where a couple guys got into some legal trouble. And I think we were at St. Bonnie. And they had Harry Moore. Shout out to him, man. Great Atlanta 10 player.
You said Harry Moore?
Harry Moore. And I just know it was something. The incident that happened had to do with a vehicle, an automobile. And so everybody in the stands had keys. They had their car keys out. They're shaking their keys. Man. And, somebody on the squad. And I remember we went up there and bust them up. And I just remember, holding my hands up before Coach snatched me for saying, we win with class and dignity. But I'm like, man, Coach, they talking trash and everything. And so, and so I remember one kid was walking through the tunnel, was like, yo, number 11, why are you so excited? You ain't do nothing.
It's a team win, baby.
I said, hey, I'm a part of the victory, I'll tell you that. What I'm saying?
We all in here.
So, that was one for Temple. And I say, Coppin State, when we shocked South Carolina, number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and everybody in the arena was quiet.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest ever, right?
They had no idea that little Coppin State was loaded like that and was tough and gritty.
Yeah.
And it was just shocking, and everybody, it was like somebody passed the baton, like from MJ to Kobe or something like that. Like, wow, like give these cats their respect. And so that was I say my best college moment right there. Just knowing that you changed the atmosphere in the arena.
Hear a pin needle drop, right?
Man, you can hear everybody breathing in there. That's how bad it was.
That's crazy.
Professionally, I'm gonna say it was a home game in Switzerland. I was playing for BBC Monté, and I think we were playing Lyon. I'm not quite sure, but I know they were ranked higher than us. We had some struggles with injuries and whatnot, and our goal was just to keep the game close. If we lose, it'd be a respectable loss. And I remember coming down, we were down 1, and we had to go length of the court. Maybe like 14 seconds left on the clock. We came down. We had a play call, but I know my man, Sasha Milosevic. I knew when it hit his hands, he was going to break the play and go do his thing. That's what he was the Kyrie of our team. So I just said, you know what? My basketball instincts kicked in and said, you know what? I know he's going to put it up. Let me just crash the boards. And Sasha put up a wild shot, of course, because they knew he wasn't giving up either. So he had people hanging all over him. And he shot it, and it came off the left lip of the rim. And I caught it midair. Didn't even come down with it. Caught it midair. Put it right back up before it dropped right as the buzzer sounded.
Oh, man.
And everybody just rushed the floor and everything and tried to pick me up. That shit.
Yeah,
I was like, don't pick me up and somebody going to drop me. You know what I'm saying? And so I just remember, man, that little town probably partied the most in that night that it had ever partied in its existence.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. That's crazy. Now, let's talk about you as a coach.
Okay, as a coach.
You as a coach.
Oof, man.
And you coach has been at different levels. You've been in high school, been in prep school, been in college, been in consultants and WNBA and everywhere. Been a professional head coach himself. So he's seen some things.
You know what? I'm gonna say high school. My most memorable moment with a team that you and Glenn Andrews and all you older guys, EJ and everybody always laugh about because you guys know we overachieved every single night.
Man.
I think it's the game we beat. Phoebus in the state tournament when nobody expected us to have a chance. We had lost to them before down to Hampton Roads, I want to say by like 6 or 7 points or something like that. And no one expected us to have a chance this go around because they knew a little bit about us. They wouldn't take us lightly this time, and it's the state tournament. And for us to pull out a gritty game, as shout out to Coach Chaney, may he rest in peace. He used to always say, "I want to win ugly. I want to win ugly. I don't care how I win. I just want to win ugly because when you win ugly, you learn something from it, And so,
rest in peace, Chaney.
We pulled out a tough victory. And what's Rick's IG handle?
Nah, man, we ain't doing that.
We gotta make sure we shout him out because Rick was part of the team. Without him, we wouldn't have had a major presence in the paint. And so pulling out that victory after even our contemporaries in the northern region doubted us.
For sure. I didn't think I was going to win.
And we pulled that victory off. And to see everybody now, one of the fair weather fans, come up, Coach, how you doing? Coach, good game. Dapping all the players up and all this stuff. And I'm like telling the guys, no, we just put our heads up and we walk to the locker room and we just point at everybody. That's it. Just point up at the scoreboard and just show everybody we just here for business.
For sure.
We don't need you guys because when we were down, it was just us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that was probably the best moment for me in terms of changing the atmosphere in the gym.
That's dope. And you see what fans do. It's just a different type of motivation that's there sometimes when they're there. I remember, I talk trash all the time.
All the time.
It's summer league. It's open gym. And there's some people on the sidelines. I'm talking to them. You know what I'm saying? I remember in high school, though, it was 2 moments for me. When we won states in 2008, I remember being told, because we played Bethel, AI's old high school, and they were undefeated, had some D1 guys and all these other things. And we had swept through that Tidewater region, average 20-point win difference, right? But people thought we were going to lose. I remember hearing that before the game, in each aisle, because, they separate the teams based, on different sides of VCU. In each aisle of where Bethel was, they had boxes of T-shirts already made saying that they were state champs, 30-0, and all these good things. Long story short, we win. And I remember a couple of our fans going over there to run to them and buy some of the shirts from the boxes. That was dope to watch and see how, devastated they looked just from having all of those expectations and all those different things. But that was dope. But for me personally too, and I was just like, a role player on that team. But for me as an integral part in high school, it was senior year when we played at South County. South County, that year was crazy. We had blizzards, we missing games, we had to forfeit games. I didn't have a senior night in high school. And this game in particular was like the last of 5 games that we got to play just to get into playoffs and things. And we were playing a team who at the time was better than us because we got, as record-wise, because we lost our other 20-point scorer and then 2 other prominent figures on the team. They got kicked off the team for eligibility issues. And we go into there, and at the time they have Mo Ali Cox, who's a tight end right now for Indianapolis Colts. And we're playing there. And I remember you asking me before the game, did you want to have your senior night here? And I was like, nah, hell no, we're not doing that. You're just going to get it out. So in the crowd, it's similar to how you said that when you guys are playing at St. Bonnie's, they had the keys out.
Yep.
that everybody was screaming, "How old are you?" Because a couple of guys on our team got put off and for some things, and it was just irking me. And you know how we always, I'm standing there, I'm shooting right in front of them on purpose so I can hear every word that they're saying. They're giving me the whole warm up. They're giving me all types of mad stuff. This team had never beaten us before. Of course, nobody in the district had beaten us before, so everybody figured that they would beat us. There was a game day magazine, radio crew. It was a bunch of people there just waiting. So I remember we always do this special breakout, right? We'll get together, all hands in the middle. We'll yell defense, and then we'll do a slide out, real dope, innovative thing, right? So I made sure that I slid right in front of those opposing fans, the students at least. And when I slid out, I flipped them both the bird, right? Nobody could see. It was just a me thing. I hadn't said none of them all warm up. And we go out there and they smiling. So I go out there and get 23-12 and we win. And then on the way out, I'm just laughing. Matter of fact, I remember standing next to the scoreboard and standing next to them at the end while Ted's is shooting the ceiling free throws. And I'm asking myself, what was that you were saying? That was dope for me. And then in college, I used to really talk stupid because my teammates would too. Like I had a couple, shout out to Sel and RJ. They used to talk a little crazy with me as well. But we used to always go to the beach and play. And we used to go to Virginia Beach and we'll play Virginia Wesleyan. And that used to be our favorite team to play because that energy would be like home. I remember we went into overtime with them and we were they were like number 5 in the country or something like that. And our big man had fouled out. Our big man, big country dude, 42-inch vertical, 225, jump out the gym, but he's the country boy. So he fouled out. We go into overtime with just basically 5 guards. And our coach at the time he's like, look, I ain't got nothing for you. Just go play. So we look at each other. He's like, yeah, just go do what you do. So I ended up the game with 18. My boy had 30. My other boy had 25. And another one had 16. And we go in there, number 5 team in the country, at their place, hostile environment, talking trash to the crowd talking crazy to us, and come out of there with a win. And we came back to the school with ribbons and stuff all on our doors and everything. But those moments are dope, though, man. Fans play a big part. That's energy. That's the atmosphere you can't anticipate. That's why we tell everybody you got to talk on defense and offense, right?
For sure. I mean, fans. You think about the pageantry of any sport. If the fans are into it, that gets the players into it. It makes the players care a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that collective energy too. When you get a bunch of people around who just got a passion about the same thing, you can just feel it in the gym. Even in some practices, you see coaches trying to emulate game-like situations, playing music loud. You know what I'm saying? Clapping at the free throw line, doing whatever they can to kind of recreate that. Because when you're in the moment, some people tense up and it's a wrap.
Yeah, you got to practice that stuff. So
yeah,
because it's a different environment when the game starts.
Yeah. And they talk about that's the difference too with the bubble. That's why people say, it's different when you don't have to play in front of fans. Because you see, some of the people that were playing great in the bubble ain't playing so great right now.
Yeah,
and as more fans come back, we'll really see some things. But as much as fans have their role in basketball. Because, it should be admired. Basketball players are fans as well, right? We talked about before that basketball and hip-hop culture is synonymous. It's a culture. It's something that, you just can't separate. Hoopers want to be rappers want to be hoopers, vice versa. But there are cases when you get a mixture of both, right? So you brought it up the other day about who was the best rapper that was a hooper, NBA player. And ironically, I was in my group chat today with my bros, and I was like, yo, help me with some topics today because work been crazy. And they brought that up. So I was like, this is the second time in the week. It's a sign. Let's talk about it. So let's get in there. Now, we know that music plays a big, big, big part of, athletics, players getting ready for games. You got warm-up CDs. You got certain inspiration players get from certain songs that they always listen to. So, it's always crucial. We talked about before how we had special playlists before games. But what you got over there for me as far as hoopers, NBA players in music, whether they're producing or rapping? What you got over there?
I know for sure I got Kobe.
Look.
Because Kobe had an album where he rapped in Italian and English. That's kind of gangster, though.
That's gangster.
I gotta give him credit for that's gangster.
That's gangster. That's my boy, but I don't want to hear that.
But you mentioned that he had 2 joints with
Brian McKnight and the back in one. He got a joint with Brian McKnight, and then he got his song with Destiny Child.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's
heavy hitters.
Heavy.
I mean,
heavy.
I gotta give him credit for that.
Heavy.
AI has something, but AI's a little too gritty, you know what I'm saying? He was keeping it real to his personality.
Bubba Chuck, baby.
Yeah, Bubba Chuck. There you go. I talked about Cedric Ceballos.
Yeah, I wasn't even hip. Cedric Ceballos, that's a New York cat, right?
Nah, Cedric Ceballos, I forgot where he was from, but he played with the Suns.
Okay, yeah, I remember that name, though. I remember after you saying it.
Dana Barros. I see Webb, of course, but I ain't know GP had something.
Hold on. Cedric Ceballos is from Maui.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
From Maui. He came out spitting. All right. Well, he went somewhere in Cali, though.
But, the most notable from the old heads is Shaq.
But hold on. We can't go past C-Web, though. Because C-Web had a song with Chris Webber. Pull up those most notable NBA songs. Let's see. We got most infamous rap tracks, right? Bean, my man Bean, we talked about it. But look, we got KD and Bron got a song together called It Ain't Easy.
See, I didn't know that.
I ain't never listened to it. It came out in 2011. I ain't listened to it. But KD, I seen pics of KD in the studio with Jay-Elect, like sitting in there with Conway and the Machine Gun. Like he got I don't know if he got an ear, because I ain't gonna say that because I haven't heard of production and stuff. But I know KD. I seen a video of him rapping before too. I seen that before, and I know he loved music. He loved music. Young boy, Lonzo, big baller. He got a song. Lonzo got tracks, like actual tracks, and like you go on Apple Music and Spotify, you can hear Zoe rapping. It's kind of sleepy for me, but he got a song with Lance Stevenson. Yeah,
I give Lonzo credit. He has something different. He has something with his brothers that I actually liked a little bit.
Yeah, they funny, man. They can sell. They good for TV, man. And then we got Brian McKnight featuring Kobe. So when Brian McKnight calling you for a feature, come on, man. That's high price. How much you think a Kobe feature cost?
I don't know. Because I got to talk about the year. Because he might have been just showing Brian McKnight.
It was the 90s. Come on, Brian McKnight in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So Kobe's like, let me get on this to promote mine.
Anytime.
Because, listen. But that's not saying too much because Brian McKnight switched up on us.
Yeah.
And he started making some songs that definitely went completely left from where he normally
Well, during this time he was still Brian McKnight with the one earring and the hoop earring there and the black tank top. All right, then we got Tony Parker had an EP. And
I'm not listening.
I'm looking at Tony Parker actually got a documentary on Netflix right now.
I ain't talking about his documentary.
I know. I just wanted to plug that because I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. But okay, Iman Shumpert. Iman can spit.
I can deal with that.
Yeah, he got a song called Knicks Anthem, Knicks Tape Love. The Iverson song you was talking about, 40 Bars. That's the title of that. I want to go see AI, get into his bag. And then we got Shaq with his weak freestyle. But Shaq got a bunch of stuff, as you said. He went platinum. He had Biggie in them on his stuff, right?
People can laugh. Shaq's joint with Biggie, You Can't Stop the Rain, was actually nice.
I believe it.
It was actually nice.
Yeah, Shaq was in a different space.
But the rest of the stuff, him and Fushnickers and all that, I ain't listening to that.
This one right here got me going though. Chris Webber and Corrupt. Hey, that a title called Gangsta. I was like, yo, C-Web. In the video, though, it looked like C-Web got flour in his mouth. Like, he got the rose in his mouth. Y'all old heads is wilding. Wilding, man. Y'all looking at us crazy talking about what we do on the outside. But C-Web was over there tripping. Man. Well, let's see. Let's see what they got in the rankings, though, right? Ethan, go to the other one. We
all know who's number one.
Not that one. The next one. All right, so we got one that's this one's a little bit outdated, right? So we got Marquise Daniels. Remember Marquise Daniels, he played, his best years was when he played with the Mavericks. I think he came out of Auburn, with the Jazz. He could get together. I know he can rap. Tony Parker, we mentioned that. Chris Webber, we mentioned. Joe Smith. Now, I didn't know Joe Smith got with it.
And he probably didn't get with it. He had the money and he attempted to do something. Come on, man. Joe Smith.
I couldn't imagine. So Gary Payton, when you threw that out to me, that was, that was different. And he threw that out, 94? B-Ball's best kept secret?
Listen, I can just imagine hearing GP and I'm thinking like, oh man, it's a Too Short remix.
Yeah, he definitely was talking that smooth. You know what I'm saying? If you know the Bay Area, they were talking a different type of talk.
For sure.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. All right, Brian Shaw. All right, so Brian Shaw and Gary Payton did the B-Ball's Best Kept Secret together. It was a joint album, Best of Both Worlds.
Stop.
They got to it, right? Stop. All right, then Shaq, of course. And then we got, keep going now, Iverson. Keep going to the last two. Cedric the Boy. And the last one, okay, Dana Barros. You remember that? That's your era.
Yeah, Dana Barros, man. I remember that.
He got bars.
A little shoot. Nah, he ain't got bars. Yeah, I mean he's alright, but he ain't like, yeah. I'm taking Lonzo Ball over him any day.
That's the first time I heard that one.
I'm just being real. I'm sitting here talking about who I would pick from both categories now, old school, new school, and the new school.
All right, let's get to it. Right here, I got the list of best NBA players who are rappers. Right.
Number one.
So I'm gonna give you some more, right? Because you didn't put Dwight Howard is in there.
I got him listed.
All right. Did you put Bron?
I got him on here.
JaVale McGee.
Got him on here.
All right. Andre Drummond.
Yep, same list.
Aaron Gordon.
I got him.
All right, keep going.
Lance Stevenson. Yep.
Lou Will.
Yep.
KD. Lonzo.
Yep.
Marvin Bagley.
I'm like,
yeah. He got into a little rap beef with Dame.
I ain't listen. What?
Yeah, they was going back and forth. He put a video on everything.
That's why his career ain't never been the same.
Hey, it's just getting started. And then we got Iman and we got Dame. So what we doing with it? First of all, y'all old school or new school?
I'm going new school.
Yeah, new school. New school got it for sure.
I'm going new school.
And
I don't like a lot of some of the songs and stuff, but I'm gonna go just who has the best talent and feel for their era. I'm going Dame number one overall.
I gotta throw one more name out here because it's recent. Miles Bridges. He's rapping too. He got something out. Yeah. Miles Bridges is in the game, people.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on.
Yeah, he talking. He down in Charlotte getting it on. So I'm going Dame number one as well. Dame. Oh, and Steven Jackson. Come on, Yates. Come on. You got to put Step 5 in there. Yep. But that's you only got like 2 over there for the new school.
I'm going, I'm going Dame number one. I'm going Shaq 2. All right. Just on the love of his versatility, I'm going Kobe 3. Listen, man,
Man, that's my man.
Yeah, you got joints in 2 different languages. You're a bad boy. I'm sorry.
And then you got Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle.
I'm sorry. I'm going 4. I'm probably going to go back to Iman Shumpert because it's musical vibes, just all his family, him and his wife.
Yeah.
And if I go 5, I'm just going 5.
Hold on, look at you knowing
what you mean?
Shump and Tiana Taylor, man. Look at you, man.
I played dumb a lot, but I know something. But listen, my number 5, you're gonna laugh at this, but this is because where I'm living right now, and I'm ingrained in the culture. I'm going Ron Artest, baby.
There's no comment. This says raw test. I'm not even gonna give you a 5. I quit, man. So look, it was an interesting list that I saw where some guy, I don't know how long ago he did it, but he put together a list of 10 NBA players and their rap equivalents, right? So I'm gonna start off with the list that he has already, and then we sit here and break it down player by player who we think should be there, right?
Okay.
So we got LeBron. He's saying it's like Jay-Z.
All right.
He's saying Bill Russell is the Rakim. All right. He's saying Will Chamberlain is Big Daddy Kane. He's saying Jerry West is Master Ace. I don't know Master Ace. I gotta learn that. That's the bridging the gap space right there. You gotta put me on. We got Kobe as Tupac. MJ as Nas. We got Kevin Durant as Eminem. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Larry Bird as Biggie.
That's not right.
Yeah, we got Harden as Wayne. And we got Iverson as Fabulous. Fabo. All right, so what we're going to do is, because that list is all over the place, we're going to keep those same players, but we're going to substitute Jerry West out and put Kareem in. All right? So when you talk about hoopers and, who their rap equivalent are, let's start with Bron. I'm going Bron as Drake. Yeah, my reasoning is the versatility, right? You talk about being able to cross every musical boundary. Drake got songs in Spanish that we don't know about. I learned about when I was going to pick up the Peruvian chicken with my little bro sitting in the spot. I'm like, yo, is Drake rapping in Spanish? He got songs in every type of genre. He ended a decade in, came in with so much hype, came in with Young Money, all those things, still going, and is at the top of the game. And every time he's at the top, they're trying to put somebody else there in front of him. And he's gonna go down as one of the GOATs. And a different type of GOAT too. The same way as Bron is. We've seen Bron ups and downs. We've seen people call him, criticize him for everything. We've seen Bron, people say he can't go west and do it, can't do it here. Bron rewrote everything. So I'm going Bron as Drake.
I kind of like the Jay-Z analogy because Jay-Z's a boss, like behind the scenes now.
Yeah.
And when LeBron finishes playing, he's going to be behind the scenes for a lot of stuff.
I mean, but he already doing those things, but he's still front forward. And to what I would say is like he's taking business to a different space for athletes. Like Drake has done that too for hip hop artists. Period. Like the crossover and everything else. Like Hov did what he did for us, and it's always going to be there. But taking light skin too. Right, he can reach a few more things. He got a different type of music that he brings. You talk about the media play and everything else.
I know, man, but when Jay-Z can breach the NFL, that right there put him over the top for me, just because that's one of the last standing good old boy sports entities.
Yeah. Well, all right. So you got Bron as Hov. I got him as Drake. So I'm going to say, but I'm going to go to MJ.
Okay.
I got MJ as Hov. And that's for, you talk about Jordan Brand, right? You talk about now he's in the sports betting to where he owns a part of, I forgot what it's called, but he's into that. It's a whole different thing. First owner of a franchise. And then you talk about international play basketball-wise, like Black Jesus. That's what you was calling them. Like,
for sure.
Everything about is that foundational step. Like everything that is going forward with basketball is because of what Mike did first and the way he took the game first. And I see that same thing with Hov, to where Hov Hove did that, so you ain't have to, right? Hove did all of those things, still there around, still giving out the blues, and you got the blueprint there, right? Like you still listening to Hove everything. MJ's shoes still #1 selling.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going MJ with Hove.
All right.
Where you got him?
I didn't like the Nas.
Yeah, I didn't
thing,
like that either.
because that's just Nas is one dimensional in terms of just being a great lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
MJ reaches so many different other aspects of society. It's tough for me because MJ can be Hove, but also I like how LeBron is too. Because, and like I said, the reason I like LeBron being Jay-Z as well is because he's just a power broker, man. Like everything he does is, he's playing chess, not checkers. And Drake is Drake, but Drake ain't doing nothing like in terms of underlying empowerment type of scheme, and things like that. So, I'm with you with that. Yeah. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I kind of spread Hove over two people. That's all.
Yeah. You gotta pick one, man. All right. So you gonna hold with two people?
I got to.
Yeah. See, the other reason why I did Bron and Drake, because that's the play between Bron and MJ, Drake and Hov. Those are the two at the top, and they're gonna be there at the top, and everybody's gonna be comparing it to them because music-wise, business-wise, they're only that boys. And numbers-wise, Drake gonna have more numbers at the end of the career just because of the way time is, just like Bron is going to. But the substance still gonna be different with MJ and Hov. But then we got Bill Russell. I'm going Chuck D.
Yeah, I would go Chuck D over Rakim because Bill Russell, we're talking about being an African American athlete in Boston back in those days, and then becoming a player coach.
First one to do that, and he won a chip that way.
Yes, he won a chip. I think he won 2, maybe. I know he was a player coach at one time. That's crazy.
It's gangster.
So I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. There's no argument with me on that one.
All right.
Sure.
Will Chamberlain. Now, I like the Big Daddy Kane one. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna contest that one, but I like the Will and Big Daddy Kane. Because do you say Big Daddy Kane doesn't get his respect as one of the greatest ever?
Yeah. I like that, and they were both smooth.
The persona,
the
persona,
smooth. Both smooth.
Persona is there, so we'll agree on that one.
Yeah.
Kareem, my first name with Kareem. My first thought was KRS-One.
I could go with that for sure.
Yeah.
If
it almost like it just fit, like from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's like a KRS-One type of eye-opening space.
Sure. If you weren't going to go Kareem and KRS-One, I'd have to fit Rakim in that spot.
Okay.
But I like I like Chris.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Chris is my man.
What's funny is Ethan still isn't with us. But as you guys see, Ethan is still killing it with the artwork. But Ethan told me the other day that he went and listened to some KRS-One. He said, "Yeah, I went and I listened to what you guys were saying. I went and listened to some KRS-One, and I'm like, what? King got you flooded. I gotta get it out of there."
Yeah, man, come on, man.
No, that was dope. That was dope. All right, now it would be Kobe, and right now they have it as Tupac.
I could kind of see it.
The gangster.
Because Tupac lived like 5 different lives.
Yeah.
And he could relate to anybody. He could be East Coast. He can be West Coast. He can be, the theater and arts.
Yeah, and crazy work ethic.
He can be hood, work ethic. I mean, Come on, man.
Yeah. See, look, originally, like, because I had this talk before, and you'll put someone like Kanye in that space just because Kanye's greatness is immense. Kanye is great in artistic value when it comes to making clothes, shoes, producing, and rapping. And he has got a different mind altogether, right? So for me, as a point, it was like Kanye probably the better one because Kobe was great on court, genius, just looking at the game completely different. And then you see what he did off the court when it came to his investments, his venture capitalist stuff, him actually being in Moesha, different things like that, right? And then him also winning his Oscar, right? So for me, I like the Tupac, but just because of greatness, because Kanye got some of the greatest albums ever, Kobe got some of the greatest performances ever. I'm going Kobe and Kanye. And that's without that crazy Kanye stuff. I'm just talking about crazy Kanye as an artist. All the other stuff that ain't being.
See, that's where the disconnect with me comes because Kobe, even though Kobe, we talked about this before, when he first came, he emulated Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody emulated Mike. Mm-hmm. Everybody, Stackhouse, everybody. Harold Miner, everybody, but he always was himself. And that's who Tupac was.
Yeah.
Kanye he lost his way a few times, but we talk about consistently, those two dudes, Pac, Kobe, was like, I'm doing me.
Yeah, but the correlation there too, when you talk about Kobe coming in, emulating MJ and then making his own space, Kanye came in under Hove. Right? And now Kanye is his own space, like completely. Both of them at the top of their space to where it's like when you talk Kanye, it's just Kanye. When you talk Hov, it's just Hov. But again, I ain't mad at the Pac one either. But I'm going to go with Ye. Ye without the funny business.
Yeah, it's a lot of funny business.
Yeah.
Look, multiple albums, funny business.
Look, KD, right? KD, they put it with Eminem.
First, I was about to say, let's skip this because that's disrespect.
Yeah.
I'm going to move, for my list, I'm moving Nas down to KD.
Okay.
You know what KD is? He's surgical with scoring the ball. Mm-hmm. And that's how Nas is lyrically. Mm-hmm. Nas, he isn't trying to be something he's not. He's just a cold-blooded lyricist. And that's what KD is. Even when KD went to Golden State, everybody said he's got to change his game and everything. No, they changed a little bit for him, and he still was KD in that situation. So I'm moving Nas down there because there's nobody else in the rap game that I think that would be.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me because when I look at KD, I look at efficiency too. You know what I'm saying? And Nas came out shooting. You know what I'm saying? God's son, it was written, all those good things. But Nas got a couple blanks in there too. KD don't shoot blanks.
Nah, he got blanks.
We talking about him and skill. Talking about him right to his space.
It's a different situation. We talk about like everybody has their ups and their downs.
Yes,
and KD has his when they were up 3-1 against Golden State, and he and Westbrook shot terribly those next 3 games and allowed Golden State to get back into it. So those were some of his down moments. So he had his moments too. You know what I'm saying? And he had to find his identity.
Yeah.
And then he got it. Now KD is in his own space where he knows who he is. Remember the burner accounts and all that? Everybody got their moments, man.
Man.
Everybody got their moments.
I might, cause I might go Snoop King. Watch your chin. No,
shut up.
I might go Snoop because Snoop is maybe it's the body type, but Snoop is one of the greatest ever one of the greatest presences in the game ever. just because of, Snoop's first album may be arguably the best album ever for some people, right? Snoop got a lot of versatility. When he took that move from Death Row and he went to No Limit.
He was garbage.
Right, but it saved his career, and after that comes Beautiful Girl, Sexual Seduction, all those different type of spaces, and he still is like he's most recognizable. Snoop got a different presence in the game, period, that you're gonna feel forever, and it's a bit of like a unicorn for me. Like you ain't gonna see somebody like Snoop to go from full on Crip, Gin and Juice to TV shows with Martha Stewart. Like you see him now, he's different. And for me, that's like a unicorn status. Like can't nobody talk like that, can't nobody move like that. And for me, I think KD is a unicorn in that same space to where we're walking. Well,
in totality, when KD's career is over, KD is not going to be he's not going to be the public presence that he is now.
I will say that you have to do a little bit more research before you say that. Because he's already got things in motion with production stuff.
I'm not talking about behind the scenes. I'm talking about like Snoop. Snoop is different, man.
I'm not arguing Snoop
with everything, but KD is not that tight.
Well, like I said, I think that. First of all, I'm talking more about presence in your industry, and I'm saying that KD's presence in that space and the gone is unicorn like, just like Snoop is. They're gonna occupy the space differently, but I'm saying a person like Snoop, a guy like Snoop, don't just walk through hip hop or any genre of music like that. And I'm saying that I equate that same type of presence with KD. I'm talking about his art. I'm talking about his art. There's not going to be another player like KD for a long time. And that's what I'm equating it with. And it's still great, too.
What I'm saying is that even though we talk about Nas had situations where he might have had one album, whatever, that wasn't commercial, but it was always who he was, and he was always spitting stuff. Snoop had situations where there were moments where like, yo, we didn't know where he was. It was a big difference. And I'm saying,
and you just said the same thing about KD. Then
I'm saying KD's situation is, I'm talking about after he's done playing. KD, in terms of being a player, he will always be KD, but KD won't be a guy that's like, it's almost like I made this statement a long time ago about AI. People don't realize how.
Hold on. Yes. Don't say people gonna forget about KD.
No. You don't understand what I'm saying.
Remember what you said about AI to where people gonna forget how great he was.
No. What I'm saying is that people will have to be reminded.
What?
Yes, because I'm telling you, it's the same thing.
No.
Listen, it's the same thing. The same thing that people are saying right now about certain players is the same thing they said about George Gervin and people like the Iceman. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes, yeah.
You talking about KD, man. I don't think I can forget that. But I'm going Snoop for KD.
I'm telling you.
Larry Bird.
Who you got Larry Bird as?
Larry Bird, they had him as Biggie. I don't know enough about Bird to put that down for what type of. Hold on, let me take that back.
Bird, listen, man.
Bird, let me see. I know enough about Bird, but I'm thinking.
You know enough about Bird.
Let me see.
Stop playing.
I'm not going Biggie there though. He ain't Biggie. Biggie different. That's a different type of swagger.
But this is why I think he's on the list.
No, he's definitely on the list.
No. This is what I'm saying. I think this is why somebody made the comparison. Because Biggie was big, fat, and ugly, right? That's what he says, right? But he still made his presence felt in the hip-hop game, right? And he made it sexy. Bird was in an era where everybody was black, high-flying, with afros and all this stuff, and people still knew who Bird was because he made his presence felt. Look, I'm here now. So I think maybe that's why they put him in there.
Man, we give Biggie to Charles Barkley if that's the case. Then
Stop playing.
What you mean? That's MVP right there.
Yeah, but we talking about
I'm going Notorious B.I.G. I'm going with Shaq, man.
Bird, listen, but I'm saying
I think Bird got a different because like you hear them stories about Bird talking trash. Bird giving guys a different type of blues and stuff. Yeah. And like, I think it's still the bad boy persona around Biggie. I think Bird. I think Bird leads.
You listen to old school NBA players. They say Bird talk the most trash.
Exactly. I'm saying I think Bird need a different rapper that's a little bit more like. Let me see. DMX. Oh shit! Oh man. Oh man, no, I didn't mean that.
We need somebody who did talk trash, but people wouldn't expect it.
Oh
in
man,
the rap game.
It's let's think, man. Like,
Dang, who would that be that talk trash?
Put on the show though. I'm drawing a blank here. Crazy.
I mean, I just like it because, man, like, Biggie made it cool for Big Pun and all them to be big boys.
Yeah.
You know, like the Fat Boys when they was out before Biggie and stuff, like they could perform, they put on shows. But they was dancing and stuff. But you know, the big boys from back when Rerun could just put on a show. You know what
he said Rerun. I know what's happening. I know our listeners don't know. That's that Bridgin the Gap right there. Where else can you hear about what's happening in Rerun?
Go on, man.
Big Shirley. Good Lord. Roger. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I gotta come back to Bird, but I don't like the Biggie one for that one. So I'll put a question mark there. All right. They got James Harden. They got James Harden as Lil Wayne.
Dang. Wayne did break away from Cash Money.
We'll see. So the thing about Wayne is probably the biggest trendsetter in hip hop, right? The biggest trendsetter, and he had a level of dominance to where it equated to championship years. Like he did like astronomical numbers. I guess in a way, James Harden did too. James Harden does have his own way of playing basketball that, you know, no one else kind of gets to. And off the court, Wayne and Harden, you know, they definitely got a lot in common there. I take the Harden. I'll take the Harden and Weezy.
Okay.
But I take that back. Because the next one is AI.
I don't like this one.
The next one is AI, and I like AI with Wayne. I like AI and Wayne more because, like I said, trendsetter, and it was different. It was a different space. It was a different space. I go AI with Wayne, and then Harden. I'm giving Harden to Travis Scott. Yeah, I'm just gonna go that way. Yeah, Houston vibes. No, I'm tripping. I'm getting Harden, Lil Baby. He gave Lil Baby $100,000 on his birthday. Look, there it is. Harden, Lil Baby.
Well, you go Lil Baby. I'm going Scarface.
Ooh, you gave him that much love?
You gave it, yeah. You want to keep it Houston. I'm going Scarface because Scarface has been the same from day one to now, and people still know Scarface is that killer.
Face different.
Killer.
Yeah, face.
Because if you're going to remove Wayne, I got to replace him with Scarface. I can't replace him a little bit. I just can't do that. Because Harden, come on, man.
Ooh, Lil Baby.
I absolutely detest that AI was with Fab.
Yeah.
And nothing against Fab, but you got Wayne and
Wayne with AI, yeah.
I got Ice Cube.
You know, I was trying to think about where I was going to put Cube. Yeah. Where I was going to put Cube or give AI NWA type of thing.
Because AI was like, he's that dude like, nah, man, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Bojangling in front of the camera for this cat. You know what I'm saying?
So look, I forgot to tell you this though. I figured it out for Larry Bird. MC Search.
Stop. You know what? I'm done.
Nah, that's not good. That's not good money.
Come on, man. MC Search ain't even one of the. He was an okay MC, but he ain't even respected MC like that. Come on, man. Bird, man. Listen, whether you want to believe it or not,
I love it.
Bird was a dog. A dog, like for real.
I was gonna put Bird with Cube actually. That's what I was gonna do.
Man, Bird.
I'm gonna give Larry Bird Ice Cube, man. That's what I'm gonna go with it.
MC Search, come on, man. You know, give him Vanilla Ice. I ain't gonna give him that, but
that's tough.
Come on, man. Like,
all right, no, that's a good space, though. That was fun. It'd be interesting to see what people think about this. So let's go into something that we talked about. This would be probably our last topic heading into closing, but we talk about all the time, like knowing when to ask for help, knowing when you reach your limits. Within the business that happens too often. We talk about how we operate as a team with you and I and our business team here. You take care of what you take care of, and then you delegate the rest to me to be like, yo, you here, I follow you here because that's not your space. And the same thing with me, where I'm like, I don't know anything about any of that. I got to learn that from you. Go ahead, I pass that off. For me, I've had to learn as I gotten older that it's okay not to take care of everything. Sometimes you're better as a manager. You call it the Nick Saban thing, right? To where you're picking out, he's better at that than I am, but I can make sure I put them in a position to do well. Right?
Yeah. It's knowing your strengths and weaknesses and being honest about it. A lot of us, I've been victim of this before, where you don't want to acknowledge that there's something that you may not be a master at, or something you may not have time to actually research and find ways of communicating that knowledge that you have. And so you got to find other people to help you out. And that's one of the signs of greatness, in that you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you are willing to work with other people to help you sustain that greatness. And you talked about Nick Saban. I always talk about how, one, he's really, really got a lot of guts to go into Alabama under the shadow of Bear Bryant, in a place that they live football. And not only has he, done a good job, he's done a great job. He's surpassed Bear Bryant. And he keeps doing it with the most turnover in terms of players and coaching staff every year. And he's changed with the game. Nick Saban was known for having a solid offense that didn't turn the ball over and a great defense. Well, he's changed the game now. Now they're one of the best offensive teams with a great offense and a good defense, he's taken a lot of players that often, go do their 2-3 years and leave early. And that's unheard of in Alabama, and playing in the SEC, but what's the recipe? He's allowed other people to come in and help.
Yeah.
And you talk about the business. The business of anything is, you want to be in charge of your own business, a successful business. You have to know how to do everything from the ground up. Because if you don't know how to do everything yourself, how are you going to be able to help someone along that's struggling in doing some of those duties? Or how are you going to know to fix a problem when something goes wrong if you have no idea what's going on yourself?
Yeah. And then know your limitations when you're like, dang, I don't know this and I don't have the capacity to do this. So let me bring on a team member with like values, like-minded, somebody that can be accountable, so they can take care of that part, so I can still master where I'm at in this space. Because, I got dreams of being an entrepreneur too. And I got into the space where me thinking I had to do everything was starting to get stressful. I remember talking to my aunt, and she was like, sometimes people don't realize that their passion, their strength, their gift is being able to have the vision and being able to see people that have the potential to help them get there and then put them in a position to help them there so you can focus on what you do best, right? But, a lot of those little things you still take part in and get there. But definitely, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
Yes, but be willing. It's okay to reach out and be like, I need some assistance here.
For sure.
Man, it'll save you some headaches. Don't let that pride, that ego, get you out. Because, pride is just birth of comparison. You only got so much pride because you're comparing yourself to something else. It's falsehoods. It's not real. Just keep pushing through that. Well, I forgot that you're a football guy. He gave that breakdown.
College football.
Super Bowl coming up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's your choices?
I'm going KC.
You going KC?
I'm going KC.
Last time I checked, you was going against Brady, and you picked the Packers.
Yep. I love Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying, you still betting against Brady?
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers was put out by a bad play call.
Yeah.
A bad play call, bad decision. And that's just what it is, man. He's the victim of let's just say some poor decision making in terms of surrounding him with the right personnel.
We're gonna Ethan, make sure you put this down. Coaches getting out of the way. We got to make that a topic for later because I immediately just thought about Pete Carroll.
Oof,
yeah, but we don't want to go on a whole nother hour. Yeah. But we could think about that a million times. But you got Kansas City going back to back.
I do.
What does that do for Mahomes' legacy if he beats, Tampa Bay and the Buccaneers and Brady?
He beats Brady and that Buccaneers team, which is loaded offensively, and winning back to back at a young age. You got to start talking about him being one of the top quarterbacks ever.
Yeah.
Because think about what he does. He's a combination of Michael Vick and
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Just like being able to sling that thing. Come on, man.
I don't even watch it. But yeah, I got you on that. Coaches calling Kansas City. Okay. I ain't watching it, so we'll see. Take it in. Well, we know how it is. Post-game wrap-up. We meet in the center circle. Time to close it out.
Yeah.
What you got for the folks, big guy?
I always try to give something for our young hoop stars out there because they're still navigating their way through the game and learning new things each day. And, I want them to not only work on their game and play the game, but also start to visualize the game. When you guys can get to a space where you can visualize yourself doing something in the game before you actually play the game, and then calm yourself down and start to bring those visualizations to life, and then you're playing the game and it seems like it's in slow motion, that's when you're truly balling, right? Because right now, a lot of you guys and young ladies are moving at a fast pace and not really slowing down to see the game. I was the same way too. So don't think that I'm telling you something that I didn't go through. Slow down. Get whatever you like to listen to in terms of what gets you ready for the game, but visualize what you intend to do in the game.
Good words. I always say, if you can dream it, you can do it. So make it happen. For me, I want to talk about making value-based decisions. Sometimes we get anxiety or get worried and feel like we need some clarity about what decisions to make, personal, relationship, business, anything. I think what helps you make great decisions is understanding who you are, your core set of values, and then that way it gives you kind of a guardrail and a baseline to keep you on track. Just like we'll say, if you're starting a business, have a clear mission and vision statement. So whenever you're making a decision, whenever you feel like you don't know where to go, you can always go back to that vision and mission statement that's clear. So whatever decision you make needs to be in line with what you already had in mind. Same thing personally. When you talk about whether to keep a friend around that you shouldn't be around, or stay in a relationship you shouldn't be in, or what have you, making a move across country. You can take away a lot of that anxiety and that worry if you understand what your values are. And if none of those are compromised, then you can go ahead and make that decision with pride and confidence. But if one of those things are compromised, then I can't do this. You have peace with making that decision. So, something that I've learned and I've done for myself and has been helpful is making value-based decisions and then establishing those values and making sure I live on those. That's it for us here. Episode 14. We still kicking and still pushing it live from Dubai. If you're in the UAE and you're in Dubai, we are growing steadily. Check us out, Hoopmountain.ae, Hoopmountain.DXB on Instagram. Follow the podcast at Bridgin _. Check us out on YouTube as well. Like and subscribe. We'll be back for more. Got some new things coming. I'm out.